I heard her whisper it when she thought I was asleep. I should have married Bryan. The words sliced through the dark, soft, but sharp enough to wound something deep inside me. For a second, I wondered if I'd imagined it. Maybe it was a dream, some cruel trick of my half-awake mind. But then I felt her shift beside me, the faint glow of her phone lighting up the ceiling. A small smile crossed her lips, not the weary, distracted kind I'd grown used to, but one that carried something secret. I stayed perfectly still, every breath measured, pretending to sleep. Bryan. That name echoed through me like an old scar reopening. Bryan had been my college roommate, my best friend, the funny one, confident and magnetic, the kind of guy who could make anyone feel seen. He and Emma had dated briefly before she and I became serious. When their relationship ended, she turned to me for comfort. That comfort grew into love, or at least what I believe was love. Now, lie beside her years later, with that name still ringing in my head, I couldn't help but wonder if I'd been nothing more than a fallback, the one she settled for when Bryan wasn't an option. The next morning, I watched her move around the kitchen, tying her hair up, humming softly while she brewed coffee. She caught my silence. "You're awfully quiet today," she said, sliding a mug toward me. I forced a faint smile. "Didn't sleep well." "Nightmares again?" she asked. "Something like that." I muttered. Her phone buzzed on the counter. She reached for it quickly, too quickly, turning her back as she typed something before slipping it into her pocket. "Work?" I asked casually. "Yeah," she said, avoiding my eyes. "Just a client thing." But I'd seen the name flash on her screen for a moment. Bryan. For days passed, and I said nothing. I needed to be sure. Suspicion is poison. It eats away at you, distorts everything. But instinct? Instinct tells the truth. So I waited. I watched. She began staying late at work, blaming tight deadlines. She laughed softly at her phone while texting, fingers moving faster than I'd ever seen. She started wearing perfume again, the same scent she wore when we first met, the same one she wore back when she was with him. Every night she'd give me a distracted kiss on the cheek, then roll over before I could kiss her back. I'd lie there, staring at her back in the dark, wondering if she was dreaming of him. The breaking point came a week later, Saturday morning, rain tapping against the window. "I'm going to yoga with Claire," she said. "Mind if I come along?" I asked. She froze, coffee halfway to her lips. "You?" "Yoga." I shrugged. Could use the stretch. She laughed, but it didn't reach her eyes. "Maybe next time." When the door closed behind her, I waited 5 minutes, grabbed my keys, and followed. She didn't drive toward the yoga studio. Instead, she went to the Willow Cafe, a quiet little spot at the edge of town, a place we used to go before everything between us started fading. And there he was, Bryan, standing by the window with that same effortless grin I'd once admired. She walked up to him and hugged him like she'd been holding her breath for that moment. My chest tightened, not from rage, but from disbelief. I sat in my car across the street, watching as they talked, laughed, leaned in close. Every gesture between them carried the weight of old familiarity, of something rekindled. When her hand reached across the table to touch his, I turned away. That was my wife's hand, and I couldn't bear to see her give it to someone else. That night, she came home smiling. "How was yoga?" I asked quietly. "Oh, great," she said, kicking off her shoes. "I feel so relaxed." "I bet you do," I replied. She didn't notice the bitterness in my tone. Or maybe she did, and decided not to face it. Over the next few days, I formed a plan, not for revenge, but for truth. I needed her to say it out loud, to make it real, even if it destroyed me. By Friday, I was ready. I made dinner for us. Candles lit, her favorite pasta, a bottle of red wine. Everything looked ordinary. She smiled as she sat down. "What's the occasion?" "Just felt like doing something nice for you," I said. Her eyes softened, guilt flickering there for the briefest moment. Halfway through dinner, her phone buzzed again. She glanced at it, smiled faintly, and flipped it face down. I took a slow sip of wine. "So," I said evenly, "how's Bryan these days?" The question froze her mid-motion. What? Bryan, I repeated. You've been talking to him a lot lately, haven't you? Her face drained of color. You checked my phone? I didn't need to, I said quietly. You're not exactly subtle. She swallowed hard. It's not what you think. Then explain. He's just a friend. We've been catching up, that's all. Friends don't meet at cafes and hold hands, Emma. Her mouth opened, then closed. Tears filled her eyes, but I couldn't tell if they were from guilt or fear of losing control. I miss what we had, she whispered. He makes me feel seen again. You've been so distant lately. I laughed, low and bitter. So it's my fault you're cheating? I didn't say that, she snapped. I don't know how we got so empty. Bryan reminds me of who I used to be. I stared at her. And what do I remind you of, Emma? She looked away, voice trembling. Of everything I gave up. Something inside me broke then. Not from fury, from truth. She wasn't mine anymore. Maybe she never really had been. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat in the living room. The ticking clock louder than it had ever sounded. Sometime after midnight, she came downstairs, eyes red. Can we talk? Go ahead, I said. She hesitated. I don't want to lose you, Mark. I just got confused. Bryan isn't what I want. He's just a reminder. I looked at her, the woman I'd built my life around, and felt an unexpected calm settle over me. Do you love him? I asked. She hesitated. I don't know. Do you love me? Her silence said everything. I managed a small, weary smile. Maybe you should figure that out. The next morning, she found her bags packed neatly by the door. Mark, what is this? Space, I said softly. You said you missed who you used to be. Go find her. Her eyes filled with tears. Please don't do this. We can fix it. I handed her our wedding photo, the one I'd kept on the nightstand. Maybe we can, I said quietly, but not like this. She reached out to touch my arm. Mark. I pulled back gently. You whispered. I said, you should have married Bryan. Her face collapsed under the weight of it. So maybe, I added softly, you still can. She left that morning. The house felt heavier, yet somehow lighter. For days, I moved through the silence. No perfume in the hallway, no laughter echoing from the kitchen, just me and the remnants of what used to be. It hurt. God, it hurt. But beneath the ache, something unexpected began to surface. Peace. Because betrayal, as devastating as it is, comes with a strange gift, clarity. It shows you who they truly are and who you become trying to keep them. 2 months later, I got an email from Emma. Only a few words. You were right. I never should have whispered that. I lost the only man who ever truly loved me. I stared at the message for a long while, then closed the laptop and stepped outside. The sky was painted in shades of orange. The air was calm again. I smiled, not from bitterness, but from acceptance. Because sometimes the kindest thing you can do for the one who betrayed you is let them live with the choice they made.